The man I'm about to bring up is one who is not just a man, is a cultivated field of wisdom where no inch lies fallow. Every furrow of his journey is sown with purpose, and every inch of his presence commands attention. There is simply no wasted real estate for the eyes of the intellect. He is the full harvest of discipline, dedication, and decades of deep-rooted experience in agricultural economics, microfinance, and development finance. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in the next 2 minutes, we'll focus on the screen as it tells us a little more about this man who's also built to speak to us deep issues, a mixture of agri, land, and real estate. Please put your hands together. Let's focus on the screen. Our technical crew, please, our next speaker at this point.
Distinguished professional in agricultural economics, microfinance, and developmental finance. He holds a PhD in agricultural economics, as well as a master's and bachelor's degree in the same field from the University of Abuja and Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University, Bauchi, respectively. Additionally, he possesses a postgraduate diploma in business administration and certification in microfinance and project management. Dr. Sunday brings over 22 years of experience in microfinance and agribusinesses. He has served in various roles, including with People Bank of Nigeria, the Nigerian Agricultural Cooperative and Rural Development Bank, now Bank of Agriculture, and has served as a consultant to several microfinance institutions. He was instrumental in developing innovative products like the Fortis Cooperative Movement Account, which significantly increased outreach to underserved communities in Nigeria. As a development consultant, he has worked with notable organizations, including GIGS Competitive African Road Initiative, AFAD's Value Chain Development Program, CAPS, Livelihood NG, and SAPSI, and the Central Bank of Nigeria's Agribusiness Small Medium Enterprise Investment Scheme. He has successfully trained over 20,000 individuals, including women and youth, in entrepreneurship and agribusinesses, linking them to critical funds for enterprise growth. Dr. Sunday is the Group Managing Director and CEO of Geo Consulting International Service Limited, and has served as a key consultant in promoting diaspora investment and rice production schemes in Nigeria. His expertise spans new business innovation, cooperative management, and agricultural project formulation and implementation. A thorough entrepreneur, he also owns and operates a 2-ton-per-hour rice mill in Abaji Area Council, Nigeria. He is an associate member of the Institute of Chartered Economists of Nigeria, a certified trainer for the United Nations Capital Development Fund's Microfinance Train the Trainers, and a member of the Nigerian Institute of Training and Development. He's also a passionate blogger and social media influencer, sharing insight on entrepreneurship and development through his platform, G Consulting International Services. Dr. Sunday hails from Akoko Edo local government area, Edo State, Nigeria, and is happily married with children. Ladies and gentlemen, with a standing ovation and a round of applause, please make welcome to the stage Dr. Godfrey Ajayi Sunday.
Please put your hands together especially for him. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ben. Let's be seated, please. Yeah, it's my singular honor and privilege to be here to take us on the subject matter of effective organizational structure and rules for wealth creation in real estates. Let me appreciate our convener talking about Usilama E. Usilama, whose platform I will be speaking today. I'm not a real estate expert, but I'm a management consultant. And it's important that we look at the management side of real estates. It's often said that if a purpose is not known, abuse become inevitable. So, the objective and goals of this presentation today is to try to see how organizational structure will enable efficiency, looking at growth and legacy building. The question I often ask, why are you in business? I tell you a secret. A lot of people are thinking that they are in business, but in reality, they are never in business. A popular one was our president that we couldn't have, talking about MQ Abiola. You remember in those days, MQ, Abi? MQ, now we want. You remember? Okay, so where are those enterprises today? Okay, so you're going into real estate. What future are you looking at? What future are you holding? Are you in real estate just to make money? And I tell you, to make money is one of the easiest things. I tell you. Making money for me is one of the easiest things. But now we're looking at how to be able to build organizational structure that will enable what is called efficiency. How efficient are you? I have a group of company right now, but I tell you, it didn't start as a group of company. A lot of people, a lot of you want to start from the top. If you jump up, where are you coming? You will come down. So a lot of us are jumping up. If I use this staircase now, where am I? I am up. But if I jump up, what do? I come down. So, what is the goal? Why are we here? Is to build businesses that will outlive individuals and create a lasting wealth. I was meant to speak first, but I just flew in from Enugu. Thank God, Nigeria is becoming better, and it will become better in our own time going forward. So we want to be able to build businesses that will outlive individual. So look at yourself today and tell yourself, I will build a real estate firm that will outlive me. Say to yourself, I will build a real estate firm that will outlive me. So we're going to be looking on how to do that. Okay? I can actually use this. Yeah, beautiful. So real estate is a proven pathway towards lasting wealth. Many businesses fail due to lack of structure, unclear roles, and what? Poor governance. So I may be speaking to you sitting down today. Your responsibility is to take the message and change. Okay? And you know the actual role is able to play, and you are able to put that person in that role, and the person plays that. So organizational structure helps to clarify roles and responsibility. It helps to reduce risk and duplication of efforts. I don't have a problem when you start as a one-man business. But if you end up as a one-man business, I tell you have failed. Are we together now? So you must be able to avoid risk-taking. And for every business you want to start, the first thing you will do, ma or sir, is to sit down and identify all the risk involved. Are we together now? There is no business on the face of the earth that does not have risk. So, risks are those things that are likely going to happen that will disrupt the entire operation. If we have enough time, we'll look at the Landmark Event Center in Lagos. We'll look at whether they actually did a risk assessment before they started that business, because they face a major risk. So, it helps to reduce the risk and duplication of efforts. Then it enables what? Scaling from one person hustle to what? To sustainable enterprise. So, finding time to listen to me today. I don't know where you work. Okay, I don't know what your aspirations are, but I want you to leave the realm of one person hustle to building what? Large enterprise. And I will tell you that Dangote didn't start as a group of company. Are we together? That's not how he started. We were told long time ago that Dangote borrowed 50,000 from his uncle to buy sweets, and he was able to resell them. And at the end of the day, he started building gradually. He was looking at the industry and seeing which of the area would be better for him. Today, Dangote built one of the largest refinery. Okay, he's my mentor. I listen to him a lot. You know what he said? He said if you rewind back the hand of the clock, he would never build a refinery like that again. Because that refinery took energy from him. And he's still taking. Because now, is it Nupeg or something? They want to drag him now. That's the kind of nation that we are. He was able to come out to build a successful refinery, but now they are facing issues of labor. Then, of course, support long-term wealth creation through what? Governance, transparency, and what? Continuity. So you ask yourself, if I fall down today and I die, what happens to my business? What happens to that real estate business? So we're going to be looking at 3 core pillars of wealth creation in real estate. Number 1 is strategic vision and what? Leadership. What is your vision? What is your mission? Your vision is where you are going. Your mission is what? Is how to get there. I tell you, the reason why you have your eyes in the front and not back is that you look what? You look forward. So, you must be strategic visionary, and you must be able to have what? Leadership skills. Like I told you from the beginning, I'm not a real estate expert, but I'm a management expert. Okay? Because I have managed, when it comes to management, it comes so easy with me. And a lot of us, that's where we have problem. So what is your vision for your real estate? Okay? So if you have the time, please help me write down what that your vision is. Just take a fresh notebook, a fresh page, and help me write down what your vision is for your real estate business. Okay? So you must have a clear vision, you must have foresight, and you must have what? Strong leadership skill. It's not easy to be an entrepreneur. It's not easy. So, what is the vision? What is driving you? What are you seeing in the front? The man who built, is it the Disney Island? Okay, saw the vision long time ago. And unfortunately, in the course of building it, he died. And the wife was able to take the project to conclusion. And the man who came to take over was now making a remark at the opening ceremony. Guess what the man said? He said, assuming Disney was alive, he would have seen the actualization of this vision. And the wife said, look, the man already saw that vision long time ago. So you're here. Every time I have opportunity to talk in a session like this, one person gets transformed, I am happy. If one person gets transformed, and I see that one of you will become a billionaire shortly, going forward. Okay? So there must be clear vision, foresight, and what? Strong leadership. And I must paint a picture for you. There is difference between management and leadership. Are we together now? When you talk about leadership, it's a subset of what? Of management. So, are you able to put people together to be able to tell them what to do, and they do it, and you come up with the actual result? Number 2, there must be robust organizational what? Structure. You must put systems in place. Systems that can outlive you. Now you are here. What is happening to your business? Is it going on? The moment you are doing business and you live a day and things are happening, then I tell you, you don't have a business. So you must be able to put systems in place. Then there must be what? Teamwork. Together, everyone can what? Achieve more. Then, of course, you must be able to departmentalize and be able to align to drive results. For every business, including real estate business, the sole aim of that business is to make money. Is anybody who is disagreeing? Is anybody who is disagreeing? The sole aim is what? Is to make money. So for me, what I do, I make money, then I do corporate social responsibility. Today, there are people they call the social entrepreneurs. Their focus is on how to help people. But for you, you make the money, then you come back and decide who to help with the money. And of course, number 3, you have to have a clear role definition and what? Accountability. Define roles, prevent duplications, and ensure what? Ownership and outcome. Then we move on now to talk about the reason why we are here, talking about the typical real estate organization. So I want you to begin to form in your mind what you actually want to do. What structure do you want to do? So I've tried to bring together 6 structures that must be in an organization. And somebody is asking me, I am just starting. You are the CEO. So as a CEO, what happens? You can have all these skills, but as you're growing, you begin to put structures in place. So number 1, our role or structure is the leadership and what? Strategy. In everything that you do, the game plan is what determines what happens at the end of the day. A lot of people go into business without a strategy. It's like a soldier man going to war without a gun. Okay? So leadership and strategy, there must be what? BOD, Board of Directors. Okay? So for every real estate firm, there must be what? Board of Directors. Your investors. It's only here that we steal a lot of money that you need money to start business. Idea is superior to money. How many of us agree? How many of us agree? Okay? You will now say, okay, that is in Nigeria. If you have that idea, it's superior. By Saturday, I will be off to Canada. Okay? Last year, at about October, I was in Canada to deliver a paper on business opportunity, agri-business opportunity in Nigeria. And there was a real estate guy, Korede, is in Ottawa. So when I came back, he gave me a call. He said, Godfrey, I want us to work together. I said, I'm not in real estate. He said, no. He said, in Canada there, I'm able to put together 40 acres of land. So I want you to turn it to farm what? Farm estate. So that's why I will be flying this thing. And I will be there for a month with him to put all the structure. We've done all the business planning. And he told me that, Godfrey, to raise the money is not a problem. I just need the idea, put it on paper, then we bring in the investors and we start a farm estate. So there must be a board of director. And of course, you're just starting. If you're just starting, you don't need to have a board of director. What you need to have is what? You need to have an advisory board. There are people who are gurus. They are retired. They know so much about real estate. So you bring them together and they will begin to advise you. So what do? You buy cabin biscuit, you buy Coke and give them when the business is just forming. Once the thing stabilizes and you start making money, please pay them. Because idea is superior. So you must have a board of directors, investors in place. Then of course, you are the what? The managing director and the CEO. There is a difference. Are we together now? So in every organization that is registered, there are shareholders. Are we together? There are what? Directors. So the director that is managing is called the what? It's called the managing director. Then of course sometimes you have managing director / what? CEO. What does that mean? Chief Executive what? Officer. So what title do you want to carry? Okay? So you start with leadership and strategy. There must be a board in place. You must have investors that are working with you. Then, of course, you have to have the Chief Executive Officer / the Managing Director. There are 2 different roles. Okay? Somebody can be a director that is managing and not the CEO. That's why you hear sometimes about the word COO. Chief what? Operating Officer. So I just want to bring all these things to your mind. Then you begin to sit down to look at that long-term real estate firm. How am I going to do it? Okay? What roles am I going to put in place? What structures? Number 2 is what? Operations are what? Development. Every time you hear the word operation in business, it's talking about the day-to-day running of that what? Of that business. So, of course, you have the project what? Managers. I will define all of them going forward. Then you have what? The site supervisors, the engineers. The bigger the structure, the bigger your organization. You can have a one man running all these things. There is a limit to which you can grow. Are we together now? So then you have the facility managers. And like I said, I'm just painting a holistic picture. You, as you're growing, begin to put all these things in place. Then you have what? Finance and wealth management. You have the chief finance what? Officer. Then you have the accountant, the analyst. If you want to take a good, successful business that runs well in Nigeria, is the banking sector. And that's why you see most people that come out of Nigeria banking system, they understand structure and they try to follow that up. Then, of course, you have the sales and marketing client relation. This section of the slide is very important because it will determine how you want to run tomorrow as a real estate organization. So you have sales, marketing, and client relation. That's the chief marketing officer. You have the sales executive. You have the customer service. Then, of course, you have the legal and compliance. You have the legal counsel, compliant officers. Then, of course, you have the administration and what? And support. So we take on each of them now. And it's important that we take on them so that tomorrow, the outlook you want to build will determine which of this structure that will lead that outlook that you're looking at. Okay? So we quickly go on to look at the first one. Leadership and what? Strategic roles. This is the most important. And this is the starting point for every businesses. Okay? So like I said, there has to be a board stroke investors. Who are those guys that are putting the money in place? So you can bring in the board of directors and they can also become your investors at the end of the day. So what do? They provide what? Governance, direction, and what? They provide the capital. So as I am talking, ideas are coming. This is the time to write them down. Something is telling you this person should be in my board. Are we together now? This person should be my investor. Okay? So when you are going to talk to somebody to be in your board or your investor, you must have a complete picture like this. Are we together? Then the CEO / the MD, he sets what? The vision. He manages what? Growth and ensures what? Profitability. In every business, it's good to be ambitious. But I want to beg you, don't be over-ambitious. Over-ambitiousness has killed so many companies. Grow gradually and stabilize. Okay? So you must be able to set the vision. The vision is where do you want to take this company to in the next 30 years. Starting from short-term, medium-term, and long-term vision. Then, of course, how do you manage growth as it's coming? Okay? You are able to put up the first estate. Little money is coming in now. Nobody can control you again. You want to buy the biggest car to show off. Okay? So, you must be able to manage growth and ensure what? Profitability. And I mentioned to you that the reason for every real estate business is to make what? Is to be profitable. And by the time you set up a business, after 5 years, if you are not making money, please shut down the business. Shut it down and think of something else to do. Then I mentioned the role of advisory board, which is optional. So for you not to start with a mega structure, what you do is to look for advisors who will advise you. Then they will offer you industry insights and they will tell you what happened in 1920. Do you want to know what happened in 1920? You want to hear it? Okay, at the end of the class, we'll look at that. So I mentioned that operations and development roles has to do with day-to-day. You have project managers in place. They'll be able to coordinate projects from the design to the completion. These are experts. You have the engineers, the architects. They deliver quality and compliance in construction. So sometimes you may not have the money to put all these people in place. So you grow gradually. Then, of course, You have facility managers. They ensure long-term property value and client what? Satisfaction. So this is what happens under operations. So when you say you have operations department, these are the things that take place in operations department. Then of course, you talk about finance. When the money begins to get bigger, you have to have a finance and wealth management department. So here you have the chief what? The chief what? The chief finance officer. Okay? It oversees the financial planning, fundraising, and what? Profitability. So you can have one person start by doing all these rules. As the real estate firm is growing, then you now begin to get accountants. They handle daily transactions, tax planning, and of course, reporting, which is very important. From January now, the new tax regime is going to take place. So this is the time for you to begin to start so that you don't fall victim. There is tax evasion, there is tax avoidance. Okay? People like Donald Trump, they know how to, avoid tax. Tax evasion is criminal. But tax avoidance is not what? It's not criminal. So you need to have an accountant to be able to explain how you can juggle the figures together so that you don't get into trouble at the end of the day. Then as you grow, you have what is called investment analysts. They identify profitable markets and asset growth opportunities. They do forecasts for you. They do analysis. Okay, so you can see that all this, we're not just having them on our structure. Everybody is having what? Is having a role to play. So number 4 talks about sales, marketing, and what? Client relationship or relation. So here you have the chief marketing officer. Then you have your sales executive. Then you have your customer service. You have built a successful real estate firm now. Now you employ staff that are not smiling. So somebody comes to come and make an inquiry, and the staff is carrying the problem from the house to the office. We cannot have that kind of staff in this kind of setup. Okay? So as the chief marketing officer, they will be able to build brands and what? Sales strategy. You can see that this one is not real estate too. We're talking about structures now that will help you to be able to put things properly. Then of course, today, for every traffic that you go, how do you know the most booming business in an economy? Where you see, you stop your car, you see sales executive coming to give you flyers. And most of those flyers today, they're about what? Real estate. That's to tell you that there is money there. So you put in your sales executive, they'll be able to drive revenue through property and sales and what? Renters. You must go deep. And I'm sure I wasn't here when Osilama delivered his paper, but I'm sure he has built a structure for you. I mean, he's somebody I respect so much. He's so passionate about real estate. He has written books. There's nothing he has not done. Today, he's diversified into an academy to share experiences that he has learned over the years. Somebody like Olumide Emmanuel, 10 years ago, I had to go to Lagos to go and look for his book, The School of Money. So, it's an opportunity today, meeting him, speaking one-on-one. So, for Osilama to bring people from all over, it's not jokes, sir. Okay? While I was sitting at the back there, I was catching vision. You know what vision I was seeing? Collaboration. Collaboration. You can't do it alone. The reason things are going on in Nigeria is that we allow room for stealing. Where you were born naked, you are going to go naked. So you need to collaborate to be able to build that enterprise with everybody having, to do things together. And I must advise, every time you are collaborating, please write agreements. Every time you are what? Collaborating, you must what? Write agreements. A man of God once said that his son came to him and said he wanted to borrow money to start business. He said, you go and write a letter. Except your mother agrees to be the guarantor, I'm not going to give you that money. That's to tell you. Because when it comes to issue of money, it's not the same song that people sing before they receive the money that they sing after they have received the money. That's when you begin to hear the word, actually. Actually, you know that Tinubu just went to France and is going to go to this thing. So by the time he comes back, they are going to sign that paper. And when that signed paper, your money is going to be around. Tinubu now comes back. Another story now enter. The budget, this thing just flew out. Okay? So learn to what? Write agreement, documentation. Olumide mentioned it here. Documentation is critical. So you must have sales executive to be able to drive revenue. Okay? There are 3 ways for you to make money. Okay? Or to increase your profit. Number 1 is that you must increase your revenue heads. What are those things that are bringing money? Okay? So when you itemize them, so you increase them. As you increase your revenue heads, what happens is that your source of money what? Increases. Number 2 is to reduce costs. Are we together now? So you reduce costs. Number 3 is to do a combination of the 2. Okay? So you must have customer service. It enhances buyer's trust and be able to ensure what is called repeats and referrals. The height of your business is when you are doing well and people begin to refer you to say, look, go to that firm. We know that they have credibility. We know that they will do well. So you must build up your business to the point where you are able to get referrals. Then you, of course, come to number 5, which has to do with legal compliance and rules. Okay? So for every real estate firm, you need a legal counsel. Okay? Because if you don't take a legal counsel, you can enter into a costly legal what? Dispute. And that can take you out of business for the rest of your life. So don't ignore. When they call people professional, there are reasons why they call professionals. Okay? So you must, a legal counsel, it manages the contracts. Okay? It has land documentation and you follow what is called due what? Due diligence. Very important. Don't say now there is ChatGPT, I can use it to write agreement. If it is not Panadol, it is not the same thing as what? As Panadol. Okay, when I was in the finance sector, you know, I used to lend money. I lend money to people and they pay back. And I was writing the agreement myself. And it got to a point, the thing now hook. I now call lawyer. He said, why you know inform me? So even if you draft those agreements yourself, show it to a lawyer and pay them small thing so that they will give you the right advice and the right counsel. So they manage this contract, they do land documentation, and that due diligence is very important because when it comes to land business, you know, Mr. Olumide made it look very interesting and very simple. It's not as simple as that. Are we together now? It's not what? It's not as simple as that. So you must do due diligence. Then you look at compliance officer, they ensure alignment with what? With government policy, zoning, taxes, and what? Regulations. Today, Oga Wike is around. He's revoking land up and down. Are we? Is that what is happening? He's revoking land up and down. So you need to be able to get legal advice to be able to tell you what to do. Then it protects against costly legal what? Disputes at the end of the day. Then, of course, you talk about administrative support, which is very, very important. Your admin is your backbone. So the admin, what do? They help to attract, develop, and retain what? Talents. The human factor of every organization is the most critical. Okay? You now say, okay, human beings are bad. I want to replace them with technology. Who will program the technology? Who will program them? The humans will program them. Okay? So you must have a good HRO that is able to put structure in place at the end of the day. And I tell you, if you have a good HRO who has I mean, there was an organization I worked one time, and the MD said, look, if you find a talent and you don't have vacancy, create a vacancy for that talent. He will be able to, it will be useful to bring in the required revenue much later. So I don't have vacancy, I don't have vacancy. I always tell people, no, look for a way to have this guy is a sharp marketer. Bring him in. Or this guy is a technology guy. You'll be able to help me put up a digital marketing that will solve the problem. Bring the person in. Okay? Then, of course, you have admin support. They run office operations and what? The logistics, very important. Then, of course, you have the IT, digital system. The world is now a global place. AI is now driving things. To be able to drive prop tech solutions, you'll be able to do customer relationship management, and of course, data what? Data management. And I tell you, the greatest problem we have today in Nigeria is lack of data. Lack of data. There are no data. And there's somebody I work with in Canada, very super guy. As you are talking to him, is plugging the data. There's a trade conference that we're going to do from 16 to 17. So I mentioned to him, his name is Paul Steffers. I said, I want to run this in Ottawa. And I said, Godfrey, why do you want to do Ottawa? So as he was talking, he punched the internet and Googled the population of the people in Ottawa, about 1.5 million. So he now Googled Toronto. Okay? He said, Toronto, about 6 to 7 million. He said, where will you want to do a conference? You want to do a conference in a place where you have 1.5 million, or you want to do a conference in somewhere you have what? 6 to 7 million. I changed my mind immediately. Data, very, very important. You need to have a data analyst who is able to, look at the industry to be able to see how they can go. So we look at building wealth through structure. Okay? How do we build wealth through structure? Strong organizational structure ensures what? Efficiency. This word efficiency, you keep hearing it in business. How do you take the same resources to do more? Are we together now? The same resources that you have, how can you use it to do more? So the more you are able to do with that same resources that you have, you are said to be what? You are said to be efficient. So every time you undertake projects, are you able to have smooth project execution? Putting the structure that you have in place, everybody playing their individual role and things happening. Then, scalability. Okay? You need to be able to expand into what? Into new markets. I teach management, and what happens most of the time is that a lot of people from IT, a lot of people from real estate, they've made a lot of money. They are now thinking, what next do I do? And that's why I took my time to show you 10 other ways to create wealth. Okay? The human being is highly insatiable. You make all the money that you think that you make, you now begin to look. How do I what? How do I scale? Okay? How do I expand into what? Into new markets. And that's how Dangote started. From selling sweets, today, Dangote focuses on consumer items. Things that people consume every day. Those are his focus. So there is no way you wake up on a day, you will not have a relationship with Dangote. The height of it now is what? Is the petrol. And I tell you, Dangote is monopolistic in nature. If he gets into an industry, he will begin to occupy until he takes control. He has already done that with petroleum. Already. Just imagine now, when you drive your car, which filling station do you want to buy your fuel? Okay? Who supplies MRS? Where is the NNPC of this world? Are we together now? So when Dangote goes in, he's going there to occupy. And that's why today, how many trucks? He just put some trucks in place now. And our advice to him is that for those trucks, please do it as a separate company. Because again, there are backlashes now. Somebody died in Auchi. Okay? It was what? Dangote truck. So for me, if I were to advise him as a management specialist, is for him to do a different company without his name. Because eventually, it will rub off on him at the end of the day, just as he's doing now. So you must be able to expand to new markets. Then, of course, the father of it, sustainability. Sustainability has to do with business what? Continuity across what? Generation. So today, you must look at family business. How many businesses in Nigeria has been able to survive 100 years? When you go to America, you go to Asia, they talk about companies that have lived for what? For 100 years. So I want you to begin to figure in your mind, I want to do a real estate firm that will outlive me. What I'm saying is people who want to make money, but I want to change that mentality. I want to change that orientation. When you are able to build wealth, it becomes more stable. So you start by being efficient, then you try to scale, and of course, you look at how to be sustainable by trying to build business continuity across what? Generations. Then of course, this is the baba of all of them. I told you the reason why you are here is to make money. I mean, not to make money, to make good profit. And the moment you are not doing that, then there's a problem. So you must be able to maximize return on investment from every project. In the banking sector, in those days, you know, there's something they had a word they coined. They call it profit center. Okay? Every branch became what? A profit center. So the moment you are not making profit, then you cannot be in that system. Okay? So if you want to picture a well-run organization, it's the banking system in Nigeria. And that's why today we've gone to the rest part of Africa. Now, Nigeria banks are going to the rest part of the world because what did they do? All these things that I mentioned to you, those are the things that the banking sector did at the end of the day. So let's look at best practices in wealth creation in real estate. What are the best practices in wealth creation? Number one, you need to be able to separate your personal income from your business what? Income. Business is a personality. Okay? So, you have sold a house. The money is inside your boots. You know, money is a spirit. How many of us agree? Money is what? Money is spirit. And I tell you, anything that has spirit in it intoxicates. Are we together? Okay? Alcohol has what? It has spirit. If you take too much of it, what happens? You misbehave. Abi? What about Holy Spirit? Too much of it. You understand what I'm talking about? Then, of course, the money what? Money spirit. Today, 1 billion enter your account. Are you still going to be the same person? What I do is that I told my wife, I said, look, if I become a multi-billionaire, because I'm already a billionaire, I said, you will never know, because it's the same Godfrey. For those who know me 10 years ago, this is where I am. You understand? So when there is trouble, when you see me, I am extremely calm. No, say something will happen. Are we together now? So you must be able to separate your personal income from your what? Business income. And I tell you, as a CEO, please put yourself on salary. Is this sounding strange? Put yourself what? On salary. You are an employee of that organization. As an employee of that organization, when you are paying the other staff, you pay yourself. Okay? So you make a lot of money, you pay yourself. At the end of the year, you now check, you've made so much money. Then you can withdraw out of it to go and misbehave. Go to Dubai, misbehave, go to Canada. It's allowed. Are we together? Huh? Life now on now. Abi? So you must be able to separate your personal income from your business. Then you must what? Leverage on technology. That is the name of the game now. Technology. Customer relationship management. Digital marketing. Property management tools. You must go ICT. These are best practices. Then you must be able to build strategic partnership with your bank. With your bank, you must have what is called an OD. Okay? I don't know whether the Nigerian banks still give OD now. But as a real estate person, you must have an OD line. OD line is different from a term loan. Okay? They give you an OD line of 1 billion. Okay? So you must not draw all at the same time. You draw it as you need it. Are we together now? So you begin to develop strategic partnership. What about with the contractors? Okay? There is something that big companies do. They will tell you to supply them. They will pay you after what? After 2 months. You know what they're doing? they are taking credit from you without you knowing. The company has built its reputation. It's now a well-known company. Are we together now? He now said, okay, supply us with iron rods. Our policy is that we pay after a month, or after what? After 2 months. So you must be able to develop that relationship with the contractors and, of course, other agencies. Then you have to invest in what? Training and what? Capacity building of the staff. Someone said that if you don't train them, don't blame them. Are we together now? When it comes to capacity, you have to keep developing your capacity. Rome was not built in a day. Today, Osilema has brought us together to become multi-billionaires. It's not the same attitude you are using now that you use when you become a billionaire. Otherwise, you can end up getting that money today, you get into more trouble. So you must what? Build what? Capacity. I remember in those days, I left the banking sector. How much did I live with? I was paid about 2 million. 2 million. That was all I left the banking sector with. That so many years ago. So, and there was now a training in Kenya, Mombasa precisely. And the cost of the training was 1.5 million. I was very foolish. I paid 1.5 and I went to Kenya to do that training. But that was what changed my entire perspective in life today. So when I came back, I replicated that training in Rockview Hotel. When I replicated the training, I made 3 million from replicating that training. Was it again? Was it again? It was again. So every time you step out like this, if I try to do a sensor now, or I try to do a survey, people sitting together are friends, people that you know themselves. Let me tell you, networking, because I was hearing Ben telling you to network. Networking is the secret. When you come into an event, sit with somebody you have never met before. Because the person that you have never, has never added value to you. Sit with that person and ask, what do you do? The person may be carrying the solution that you've been looking for a long time ago. So you connect, you relate, you make phone calls. When I went to Canada last year, when I came back, I am structuring about 5 deals now. And that's what is going to keep me there for some time. Because I collected cards of people, I received their flyer, I found out what they were doing. And I was now relating with them. We can do this, we can do that, we can do this. One of the deals that we're going to struck now, they may interest any of you, is that in Canada, majority of the yam eaten in Canada are from Ghana. Are we together now? But those yam, when we did the research, are actually Nigerian yam. They route them through Ghana and take them to Canada. So I met somebody there who told me that, look, the Controller General of Custom is his classmate. So we wrote 2 letters, one to Niger State Governor, the other one to Benue State. Those are the highest yam producing states in Nigeria. Am I correct? Okay, so he's waiting for me now. Okay, I said, look, let us start small by taking 3 containers each. But it will end up, I knew a Nigerian who took a shipload of food to Canada. And it was an expo. People came by the seaside and the whole ship was bought off of food. Are we together now? So you must be able to build, invest in training and capacity building. So you hear today, Illuminate is talking those big figures. They are real. The real estate sector in Lagos is different. They are running and competing with Dubai. If you buy in those days, Dubai, they tell you can buy an apartment. Abi? Lagos now is already, Lagos is far ahead of Abuja. And it's coming from Lagos. So once in a while, just like Osilama will do, go to Lagos. Have real estate friends. Find out what they are doing. Abuja is a small market, sir. Abuja is what? It's a small market. Very small market. Okay? So invest in training, then create succession plan for intergenerational what? Transfer of business. I mentioned indirectly what I call family business. Abi? So, don't force your children into your business. But you can give them what? Shares. Are we together now? So your children go, they must enter this sector. They must be with me. Is that their interest? So what you do is to give them shares. You may be surprised that when you pay them dividends, your children's children may begin to show interest in that business. And that's how to grow family what? Family business. Don't ever force anybody. Just do your things and gradually. So try to create a succession plan. And I've told myself today, any staff that work with me for 10 years, I'm going to give that staff share. Because it's not easy. Remember, you came to Abuja to what? To make money. Is that the reason you came? Is that the reason you came? Yes. Okay? So the staff that is working with you, why did that staff come? Came to make money too. So, person when one die, meet somebody when one kill him. It makes the death to be easy. You came to Abuja to make money. Your staff came to what? Make money. So bring ideas together on how to bake a bigger what? A bigger cake. So when you bake a bigger cake, everybody will have their own share. Don't be greedy, sir. Don't be greedy. So create succession plan for intergenerational transfer of business wealth at the end of the day. Then let's go to case studies now. If time will permit us, we will look at the case of the landmark. You know, the Coastal Road took part of their real estate. We'll brainstorm at the risks that they face and whether they didn't envisage that risk. Okay? I sat down and I did analysis of the Dangote refinery. And I was asking myself, did Dangote actually wrote a business plan to start that factory? You know why I say so? That refinery is too big. So it started by having problem with the federal government on the crude. So, and it got to a point, federal government had already sold their crude ahead. So they don't even have enough crude for him again. But he's now getting crude from other places. So let's look at two case studies. Family real estate business without what? Without structure. They have an informal management, no succession plan. What happened to the company? It collapsed after first generation. How many minutes do I have? Okay, that's good. I will be done by then. So, is this where you are? Okay? You are using informal management. We are belly face. Okay? No structure. You are making money. Okay? No succession plan. No succession plan. Then, just see that after you die, that business will die with you. And today, I will tell you that Nigeria is having a succession problem. That's why we are where we are today. No visionaries. Okay? Case number 2, structure real what? Estate firm. This is where a lot of you want to be, I guess. This is where you want to be. Clear what? Governance. Reinvestment of what? Profit. Grow into a multi-generational conglomerate. That's where you want to be. Lesson is that the structure ensure what? Sustainability, scalability, and what? Legacy. We'll get to look at some real estate firm now. When we mention the name, it will resonate with you. Are we together now? Our forefathers have been, doing real estate for a very long time. So it's your decision to say whether you want to put structure in place, and we are available for you. Okay? We can come in to do a management analysis of your organization and be able to advise you on what to do at the end of the day. So let's look at the Landmark Village in Lagos. Their case is a case of structures and what? And sources. What's their background? They started as a modest what? Waterfront project. I will show you some pictures now of how they started. So they were just seeing the waterfront, and they were seeing estates by the water sides. Okay? So what was their approach? They adopted strong organizational structure. They had what? Board oversight. I mentioned to you that there is a need for you to have what? A board. And I said that if you cannot afford to pay your board, what do? You create an advisory board. So call them for a meeting once. Now you can even use Zoom to talk to them. So once in a while you bring them together. You know, somebody, one of my mentors, about 13 years ago, he called me that he wants me to be on the board of his company. I tell you, for 10 years, he didn't pay me one single kobo. But from 3 years ago now, once every year, he must fly all the board members from across the world. And he will put us in a 5-star hotel. And at the end of the day, the last 3 years I went with my family. Last year I went with my family. You know, apartments, suite. Are we together now? But I endured for what? For 10 years. So bring people together. People have idea that they want to share. What happened in 1920? They want to share with you. And as a young man, don't take their idea for granted. Just listen, so that what happened in 1920 will not happen to you again. So adopt strong organizational structure, board oversight, professional words, management, and clear departmental role. We have listed about 6 departments that we want you to follow. Then what are the outcomes? They grew into what? A thriving mixed-use development of hospitality, retail, residential, and what? Events. Those were the things that Olumide Emmanuel was mentioning. Okay? Then it attracts local and what? International what? Investors. When your business gets to the point when you begin to receive calls, we want to be part of your business. Just know that you are on the success path. That people call you and say, no, we want to be part of it. How much does it take to be part of it? Okay? So it goes into a mixed use of development, talking about hospitality, retail, residential, and events. Then it attract local and what international investors. Then it became a sustainable wealth generating landmark in Nigerian real estate. This is the picture that you see about them. Then let's look at how they were able to achieve that. They had what? A clear what? Vision, which is what you have written down. When you go, don't discard this notebook. It becomes your basis. Review it. Okay? The landman had a clear vision and leadership guided by what? Expansion. Then they had structure what? Finance, legal, and compliance team secured what? Investors what? Confidence. This one that you are struggling looking for money, there is money everywhere. And I pray for you, you will get to the point where money will begin to look for you. Then you need to have, they had a strong sales and marketing unit built on what? Brand reputation. Okay? So today, you want to go and buy detergents. You know, the name of the company has become what you are going to buy. What's the most popular detergent today? Omo. So you want to go and buy Omo. Actually, what you want to buy is area. Okay? So you must grow your brand to that level. Then robust operation and facility management to be able to preserve long-term value. Landmark Lagos, they had, this is how they started. Okay? This was the waterfront. Then, this was the first they built. Today, that's the picture that you will see. Okay? So, for me, if you have a picture of what you want to achieve, put those pictures in place. Put them by your bedside. Before you know, you will achieve them. So, they use a simple flat organogram. You have what? The CEO, managing director. Then you have operations department, finance, sales, legal, and what? Administrative support. If you are just starting, you don't have to start with this 6 structure. As you're growing, you begin to improve on them. So structural leadership made growth scalable and sustainable at the end of the day. So Landmark Village were able to achieve long-term success through structured leadership and disciplined organization. Then the compelling visuals is focused on managing, make in memorable finale. Let's look quickly at some other roles and how those organizations use them to transform. So looking at executive leadership role, example is what? The Dangote Real Estate Division, Nigeria. So when we say executive leadership, you can see this is it. They had a strong executive leadership under the tutelage of Dangote. That's how they started. So Aliko Dangote as the chairman with what? A clear executive team for real estate projects. Okay? So for me, today when you go back, have a rethink. Who are those people that can work for me and be able to do that? Okay? Okay. Time. So if you give me another 2 minutes, I will just round it up. Okay? So landmark, I've already discussed landmark. Then, of course, you need to scroll for me. So there's another company called Osilama Global. Abi, what is notable about Osilama Global? You see that big boss everywhere. Sales and what? And marketing. That's what they use to drive their own business. Okay. That's hook. If you are there, you can help me scroll to the next one just as I try to round up. You have Android homes. Android homes, they use aggressive marketing. That's what they use in Android homes. Okay, USC property development. USC property development, they use good management. That's what they use, put in place. Then you have Mr. Africa. Mr. Africa, they use good financing. They're able to raise money to be able to develop their business. Then, like Frank, Nigeria, they use their legal team to be able to drive their real estate company. So in rounding up, I want to say that it gets to a point where for you to be able to integrate wealth creation strategy, you need to be able to diversify your business. Then you bring in a lot of innovations and creativity. So in conclusion, wealth is in real estate is not accidental, okay? It requires a visionary leader, okay? 2, it requires clear structure, okay? And of course, you have to do what is called what? Strategic planning, long-term sustainability practices. So with the right structure, you are not just selling properties, you are building lasting wealth and legacy. Thank you and God bless. So we quickly leave room for question and answer and contributors. Can we have the microphone here?
Thank you, Dr. Godfrey. So my question is as regards corporate governance. You know, when you're building your company, I really want to gain insight about corporate governance, especially from a startup level, so that you can have that futuristic idea of how you should build your structure. Okay. Thank you.
So every business starts from what? An idea. Abi? So from idea, the moment you put your idea into place, it becomes what? It becomes a startup. Abi? So from startup, you probably bring in the first staff. You are the one that has the vision. That's why number one thing is to have what? Is to have the vision. Okay? So you bring in the first staff. Once you bring in the first staff, that is the beginning of building structure. Are we together now? So you can bring the staff just to assist you, okay? Maybe your secretary. It comes in, you know, when you are going out, the staff stays there. Then you now look at your vision. Okay, who do I need to bring in next? Okay? So sometimes if you are buoyant enough, the human resource person is critical. Because it's the one that identifies those talents. So share your vision with the human resource person, then you begin to grow gradually. From operation, who will head operation, okay? Who will head the legal? So like I said, don't start bogus. If you start too bogus, you may end up disappearing. You are there, gradually you begin to grow. And I want to tell you this afternoon that every business has a secret. The secret is discovered after you have made several mistakes. Okay? You make a mistake, you redo it again. Before you know, you have that secret. So carry on your human resource person, then you begin to put the other places. So before you know, you have the entire structure now, but don't start from the top. If you look at the structure I showed you, you see that the MDs are at the top, while the other staffs are down. Okay? So if you reverse it, it becomes a very big structure that you cannot carry at the end of the day. Because for every CEO, your greatest headache is salary payments. That's why you discover that the month is too short. Okay? I have a friend, he just started an ICT company. He started big. And they started from 10 staff and came down to 2. At the end of the day, the guy don't jackpot now. And when you go to a place like, I started talking about things like per hour billing, per hour work. That's what they do abroad. We have not reached that level, but what we need to transform our economy to is per hour billing and 24 hours economy. If we're able to transfer Abuja to that, it will become vibrant and everybody will be able to sustain at the end of the day. Yeah, somebody's point. Did I answer the question? Start small and grow big. Yeah, that's somebody from the back. Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Godfrey. My name is Joseph Agbedo. My question is this. As a newbie or a rookie entrepreneur in the real estate industry, what are the things you need to do to attract experienced men as your BOD in the company? Thank you, sir.
Okay. So how will it attract experienced people? Okay, so you are starting small as a rookie, you mentioned. Okay, so one, you have your vision in place. Okay, so once you have your vision, I know of a real estate firm. A friend of mine was working in CBN. He was one of those people that was poached. Was laid off this latest CBN move. So what happened was that the guy saw the potential of that guy. You work in CBN, you are an advocate of corporate governance. You are a structured person. So immediately the guy, the last day the guy just said he's no longer working in CBN. He brought in that person immediately to fill in a particular background. So you must have, once you have your vision, if you can, please have a business plan. Are we together now? So once you have a business plan, it will show you all the structures that you have. Then you can poach. Okay? You look at another real estate, you say, this guy is the one doing things here. So you go, you talk to him. Okay? Sometimes they will ask you, increase salary. That was, when I was working in the banking sector, somebody came and spoke to me and said, this particular sector, they told me that you are the brain there, that he wants to take me to Lagos. You know what took me to Lagos? The office was going to be number 94 Broad Street. So I said, look, I just want to have Broad Street on my CV. That was what took me. So you must have eye for talent. Okay? What areas are you having issues? But again, as a rookie, I advise you, if you are very experienced, start recruiting people and training them. If you are able to build up with people, they will remain with you for the rest of your life. There are some staff, they are ready to live with you. That particular bank I was telling you, I was working here in Abuja. I said, look, this is my final bus stop. I did a product for them that launched them out. That was in 1994 or 2004. I did a product for them. They asked me to go to Elizade to go and take a Toyota 2014, 2004. I should go and take a brand new. So this was a young man that time that I was driving this Primera. You know this Primera vehicle? That was what I was driving. So I went to office because of the product I developed for them. Then they just took me to Elizade and I drove 2009. Brand new Corolla. I drove it home. My wife said, no, this one can't happen. You want to jump up, you will come down. And my neighbors, they started envying me. But guess what happened? After 2 years, one manager did something, and they asked us to return all the cars. I said, this was a guy that you were celebrating. So all of a sudden, you take that car away. And my wife warned me earlier that any day they take, your neighbors will laugh at you. So, and I said, so that was the day I concluded that, look, this organization is not for me. Shortly after that, the Lagos offer came. So you must, first of all, know what you're doing, have a business plan, know the caliber of staff that you are going for. Negotiate with them, give them that pay rise, okay? But most importantly, if you can start with people who are new, you can build them up. That is a problem of loyalty. How do you get loyal staff? So that's another day masterclass. How to make sure that you have loyal staff that can remove their eyes for you. Yes, any other question? Yes, there's somebody in front. So we'll just take 2 more and we go for our lunch and close for the day.
All right, so good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
All right, my name is Sylvester Afolabi. So I did a few years at the bank, but shortly after that, there's a product that came up called commercial papers. And a number of estate companies
started using it.
Yes, and then assessing serious money. In addition to what the real estate company that we recently started, we are also into renewable energy. And then after a while, one of the companies that we almost started at about the same time assessed commercial paper. And then he's not been able to really tell me how he went about it and all that. And then, of course, given your experience in the banking sector,
yeah.
I really would appreciate if you can throw some light on what commercial paper is, where it can be assessed, and what are the conditions.
This one Olumide calls, this is a master class, so you have to pay for that. But when it comes to fundraising, I know that somebody mentioned JV. Right now, in that organization I mentioned to you, we've been able to raise some commercial paper. So if Oselama will allow us, I will give you my number. Then we can sit down to discuss that at the end of the course. It's another entirely class. But there are innovative ways to raising funds. Like I mentioned, drive your business to the point where funds begin to look for you. You can get to that level, okay? And commercial paper is one of it. So on this note, so Ben, you come and take your microphone. Thank you very much.
Can we give him a proper applause, please?